Generally, we are not taught to think of the human body radiating an electromagnetic field that interacts with other electromagnetic fields, or how that consciousness interaction defines its position in a time vector pathway. In this context, time is the interval pathway that the consciousness is traveling in between different points in space-time. What decides the course of our consciousness pathway through time? When we are unconscious, the power of the external force interaction made upon our energy body will push us into alignment with the predominant forces inherent in the collective consciousness body. When we are unconscious, the human body will tend to act impulsively and instinctually to express the content, thought forms, and energies present in the forces of the collective unconsciousness stream. This unconscious content is vibrated through the human electromagnetic field and carries that person into the principal consciousness stream that travels within that time vector. This is similar to being pulled down a river in a strong current. The physical body does not have the power to swim against the current, but is instead being pulled by forces into the path of the river's current. The path of the river is what defines the location in space and time that consciousness is traveling. This illustrates the point that inner core strength must be developed in order to ascend out from the time pathway of the principal force in the collective unconsciousness stream, represented by the river's current that is presently on the earth. To remain awake and conscious takes deep spiritual commitment and strength. To realize the inner direction of your authentic core self is to consciously choose the pathway of your spiritual self, and surrendering to our spirit is what supersedes the power of exertion that is applied by any external force. As an analogy, think of the human body as our vessel, similar to a sailboat navigating the currents in the oceans of life. In order to navigate the oceans and travel the vectors of time that get us from one point to another, we have to know how to steer our boat and manage our navigation. This means being aware of the forces at play through different exposures to weather and sea conditions, as well as the many forces that are outside of our control. We cannot control external forces, people, or conditions, but we can control how we respond to those conditions. When we are able to ground in our own core self and be inner directed, it is in this response that we gain control over our direction. We can maintain our momentum forward, no matter who or what is interfering with us or trying to take us off our path. When we know who we are and we are true to ourselves, we gain strength and empowerment to navigate unscathed through the most serious challenges. The goal is to stay on course and to not allow external forces or other people to apply forces to take you away from what you know is true for yourself. What we allow to interact with and influence our personal electromagnetic field, and what outside forces we internalize and believe is our identity, will place us in the time vector of that consciousness stream. The ascending path is directed by our inner spirit and core self. Thus, we must communicate with our spirit and follow that path without hesitation in order to be aligned to our highest consciousness stream.